We had the idea of making a hole in a piano for a while, and we were looking to what piece of music we can also put a hole through, and by doing so we'll change the meaning of the piece. And so after some research and time, we decided that it was the Ode to Joy.
Stop, Repair, Prepare is a piece that involves a modified grand piano. It's a Bechstein piano that has had a hole cut into the center of the body of the instrument to make room for a piano player who will physically be occupying that space of the center of the piano in order for them to play the fourth movement of the Ninth Symphony of Beethoven, or the Ode to Joy, from within the piano.
Ode to Joy has a section that is the Turkish march. It's also the anthem of the European Union, in which Turkey is not part of. So that paradox kind of became an interesting point of departure for us to start looking more closely at this piece of music. And as we look more closely into it, we realize that it's one of those pieces of music that have been used and abused through history by all different ends. People have used this piece of music, radical left wing, radical right wing. And so we thought that it would be interesting to put a hole through this piece of music, to introduce silences and to make it incomplete.
It came up, the idea of showing this piece of the piano, and we thought it was a really interesting context to present the work, because we have been invited to show this piece in many different places, but mostly we don't say yes. But this seemed like a really interesting and relevant situation, so we thought it would be worthwhile.
Well, I'm really excited to have it happen in this place. It's in a way, it's really, I think, one of the most public settings that the work has been placed. People come here not necessarily to see art or to see an artwork, like in the other context, being a museum or a gallery. This is a library, so you have people here that come to study because they have an exam. And so when they pass by and see a piano with a sort of this strange modification to it, it's it's a completely different experience than somebody coming into a museum or an art gallery, which they will know what they would expect more. So, and it has in terms of the space itself and the public flow, is very different. People just move from one space to another, and it feels like a very busy space, and the public is very young. The majority of the public is very young and very culturally diverse. So it's sort of a very interesting and context to show the work. Every site has its own sort of special dimension to it, culturally, socially, etc. In this library, it's really interesting and different than any other place we have shown it, because when you go into a library, it's like taking a journey into history. And so having this piece here physically taking a journey through the space by moving the piano and playing this piece of music, it feels that there's this nice relationship between context and the content of the work.